For me and the Lord, we got an understanding.
We're on a mission from God.
They shouldn't have given you ashy blokes YouTube.
Cursed be the ground for our sake. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for us. For out of the ground we were taken, for the dust we are. And to the dust we shall return.
I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
All right, you dusty ninjas, what's up? This is your AMA, your random ass answers for the week, okay? Because I get all kinds of, I don't know why people just when I'm doing a targeted thing, people have all these random questions, and AMA, all the questions dry up. Okay, I guess that's what happens when you have a room full of sigmas, stray cats, as they say. They never go in the order that they're supposed to. Anyhow, oh, what's going on, Muppo baby? What's up? How you doing? Adric, what's going on? Instant Media, what's happening? Free Agent Triple OG, Kennard, what's happening? Prince, RNM, what's going on? AL, what up, boss? Eddie, what's happening? And what's it like in NYC? Lavaris, what's going on? The Waffle House King, what's happening? Matt Brennan, what's going on? AL, what's happening? Gundam, what's going on? Shannon Moore, Black in the Middle, greetings. What do you think the gynocratic bootlicks are going to do as the academic DEI feminist money dries up? Find a man. Captain Obvious, what's happening? Muhammad Teacher, I couldn't beat the other guys. Womp womp. I still remember that, and he got fired for that. Brooklyn's Finest, what's going on? Mr. J. Matt, what's happening? Black Toxic Masculines, what's going on? Mel L. Hey, the motherfucking Sensei in the house. What up, Philip? DeAndre, what's happening? Snowman, what's up? Snowman, what you gonna do for the WNBA draft? What you gonna do? Michael, what's going on, man? Kelvin, Mr. Snazzy, Barry Little. Yes, it is Friday. Thank God. Kelvin Davis, college. Don't talk to me about college. College. Horowitz, what's going on, man? Enigma, the gray man, what's up? Jokic is the 2025 WNBA, or what is it? SGA. What is SGA? Well, Jokic, yeah, Jokic is he is an enigma. So, but that's his talents fit the league that's here. Okay, his talent fits the league that here. He probably wouldn't be if what's his name hadn't got hurt. What's it? What's his name? Yama for San Antonio. Wembanyama. I think Wembanyama probably would have been the MVP if he hadn't gotten hurt. But I would vote for Jokic. Yeah, Jokic is probably the best player. But Boiling, what's going on? B-Row, what's going on? Corey, what's happening? Tunnel Runner, what's up? We try to be right. Why Iran? Why now? It's always been Iran. Okay, Iran's been on the plate for 40 years. It's not new. Okay, Iran has been on the plate for 40 years. Sometimes hot, sometimes cold. But they've been in the bulls in our bull's eyes for about 40 years since the Ayatollah got pushed out. Quentin, what's going on? Michael L, what's going on? Dayron, your rants are masterful. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh man, I got some more coming. Ooh, I say because you know how you get the inspiration in the morning. So I start writing them down, the topics, because I got a couple. I got some more coming, man. About three. Okay, I got one that they have to finish. That's not really a rant, but I got three, man, that's gonna be rants. Okay, three of them. So look for those. Ibuki, what's going on? Tooth Triv, what's happening? Beautiful weather, but still bipolar. It's global warming. Lonely Craftsman, what's going on? What kind of crafts do you do? What's your specialty? Big Trick, what's happening? Mr. J Matt, what's happening? LAPD SWAT, greeting from bipolar weather, Texas. Spring one day, fall the next. Yep. And what you don't want is that summer that fries eggs on the ground. That's what you don't want. Apple Bite, what's going on Cockrell Hill in Dallas? Man, I haven't been to Dallas since my grandmother died. That's 2008. I haven't been to Dallas in almost 20 years. I've been places in the world, but I haven't been to Dallas in 20 years, and that's where I was born. Zen Sun, what's going on? So there's an NFL player that wants to train LGBTQ for football. Hell, if they can play, they can play. It doesn't matter what they are. There's been LGBTQ people in football. They haven't come out, but there's a whole bunch of them. Okay, there's a whole bunch of them, man. They just keep it quiet. So the BGS in chat, you might have been asked before, but what is your favorite civilization and time period? Oh, damn good question. Probably Egypt, right around Ramesses. Probably would be it. Ramesses, probably right around Egypt. I would have loved to have been a scholar during that time. I said cover WMWA Draft Live with my friend. All are invited to join. Okay, we want to. Yeah, this should be interesting. Okay, they're looking. All the podcasters are looking forward to this draft. Shy Glorious Alexander. Okay. EAW, what's going on? Love Gun, as a millennial raised by boomers, what do you think of the growing rhetoric blaming boomers for everything? I disagree with this, by the way. I find it cap. Because they got nothing else to do. Because I'm going to tell you straight up, millennials need to actually find somebody to blame their failure on because they haven't done anything. What needle have the millennials actually moved for the most part? Okay, Gen X had rap and hip hop and that kind of cultural revolution. What have the millennials do? Millennials have done nothing but copy boomers and Gen X for the last 40 years. What have they innovated, really? Okay, all your internet stuff was done by boomers and Gen X. So what really have um, millennials really put their stamp on? And that's how come they blame it. But in other words, the reason we're not rich, the reason we ain't got no money, blah, 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 blah. You know, the boomers didn't have no money when we started either. There wasn't no money. Okay? The same hard time you're going through right now, which is austerity after 1971, the boomers are right in the middle of that. Okay, you guys are going through the exact same thing. The only thing is the boomers didn't cry about it. Okay, we actually got out and tried to do something about it. Wasn't always effective, but we tried to do something about it. Okay, the boomers fought the feminism and for about 30 years with the MRM, with the Promise Keepers, and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? And when they got too old and fizzled out, millennials didn't pick up the torch. You guys caved in. That's why. I think the kid out of OKC is going to win MVP. Could be. Why is there such an uproar about the tariff shit and alternative fixes being proposed? Because tariffs cause inflation, and cause tariffs are an extreme measure to do things. That's why, and basically tariffs brings uncertainty. That's like people are afraid of tariffs. Okay? So it's going to upset whatever balance we had over the last, I say good 40 years. That's why they're afraid of it. It's the unknown. The NBA is slow as I don't know, man, what it is. I think the NBA. I think they've watered down the NBA so much they don't play defense anymore. So it's basically um, predictable. It's one on one. You cut, you get the ball, and you throw down a dunk, and then you run back to the other side. So most people don't even play defense anymore. You know, it's like they play all-star defense now. So it's like you watch. The all-star game is interesting because it's one game, okay? But when the whole season is like an all-star game, it gets boring. That's why it's hard for me to watch it now. Red Planet, what's up? Inspired Truth. Tax and pollen allergies are on 1,000. I believe it's springtime. Could be worse. I hear in Kentucky I'm about to start building an Arctic while it's flooding. At least you got send the water here, man. Send the water here. We need the water. What's up, Silverado? Silver Desperado, what's going on? Johnny Anderson, what's going on? I seem to remember what you mentioned that the white manosphere doesn't like, or mentioned the black manosphere. Can you explain more about that? Um, White manosphere, for the most part, tries to be devoid of race. Now, every now and then you see some right wing racist content pop up here and there, but the thing is, for the most part, it's devoid of race. But the black manosphere is specifically talking about race problems that are unique to black men. You cannot talk about black men and black women in a black community without talking about race. It's impossible. And you cannot do that in the white manosphere. Because I was a MGTOW for like a year and a half, right? And they taught me don't talk about race. Okay, so how can I talk about my people without talking about race? It's impossible. That's why. Where are all these anti-war presses to call out nonsense and with Iran and was more fierce? You tell me, man. You tell me. Okay, boomers did it. You guys are millennials. You tell me. ABJ's favorite tech advancement. Favorite tech advancement is probably the internet. The internet really revolutionized everything when he connected all these computers. That's probably my favorite tech advancement. That's the biggest one because it opened up commerce and crypto and banking and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably the biggest advancement. And the second biggest probably was broadband. Without broadband, you would not have uh, uh, any of this. Okay, it'd be single connected computers and all that kind of stuff, right? So now, with the internet and the popularity of the internet, you brought the being online from buying a $2,000, $2,500 computer all the way down to having a what $400 smartphone or even a $200 smartphone. So that's probably the biggest advancement. Dracon, what's going on? Jamar? Eric Damon, do you think Trump tariffs will work? I don't know. Nobody knows. It's a shot in the dark. Your thoughts on Marcus Garvey? Marcus Garvey had a lot of things correct. I think I think he was way too ambitious, and the country wasn't ready for what he was trying to do. I don't think the world was ready for what he was trying to do, which is why he got blacklisted, even by the black intelligentsia, and he got booted out of the country. But a lot of things he had were correct. He was just ahead of his time. Any possible negative outcome? Oh, we don't know. Either could be possible, and probably both. Shannon Green, what's up? Captain Obvious, terrorists are bringing countries back to the negotiating table. Yeah, they are. I think that's the reason for the tariffs because a lot of things Biden did kind of broke a lot of your economic ties to the rest of the world. And basically, what Biden did was basically separate the West from everybody else. And what Trump is trying to do, I think he's trying to do. I can't speak on it for sure. I think he's trying to rattle the table and try to get people to come back so they can actually renegotiate some terms. But like I said, it's going to be ugly. Everybody's talking about the tariffs. Okay, you can't do anything about it. Thoughts on XRP? I haven't looked at XRP in a while. XRP is like the redhead stepchild of crypto. I, I think because the banks were behind it, and nobody really trusted the banks. And I think that's probably why. I think the Most High was raised by boomer parents. My only mistake was not listening enough, and now it's too late to keep listening. They're both deceased. No, but all you got to do is go back into yourself. What they told you is still there. You remember it. The Golden Age, 1980 through 1998. Probably so. You might have a little extension with the Shaq years up to 2003, and then they started bringing in those those goofy defenses, and they started really emphasizing the 3-point line. KMS, as a bleeding edge millennial, I take offense to your boomer. What have y'all ninjas built? Rhetoric. Have you ever played Mario Kart 8 on a Nintendo Switch? I rest my case. I have, and I can tell you Mario Kart 8 on Nintendo Switch is bullshit. Okay? I got you. Basically, Mario Kart is an extension of a game I played in 1983, which is Donkey Kong. Okay, y'all still using the same fucking characters. What, 40 years later? Move on. That's why it's bullshit. Okay, there should be contact when people get into the paint. They should allow one-handed contact as soon as someone drives to the paint. Players not running in circles in the paint to get a layup. Yeah. But that's the kind of game they want. Boomers had to fight the rest of the world, and millennials just to fight ourselves in reality. That is true. Well, now millennials are going to have to fight the rest of the world. Now you get to see what we're going through. Okay, the stuff that we're going through now, that you guys are going through now, we went through it already. All this economic upsetment and jobs and people getting laid off and that kind of, we went through that in the 70s. Okay. The only thing you guys don't have is gas lines, fuel lines, odd and even days. Okay, your cars lining up to get gasoline. I believe analytics killed the game. Just because 3-point shot is better doesn't mean it's the only shot to make. The players hit 40% or so. Basically, that's all they do now, man. You see, guy. You know what irks me is me seeing a 7-foot guy, all the 7-footers on the 3-point line with their hands out. I can't stand that. It's like you know. I remember Chris Paul. I think it was Wembanyama. He was in San Antonio, right? And basically Wembanyama was in the corner with his hands out. Chris Paul said, "Get your ass down in that paint." Okay. He pointed. He said, "I'm not giving you the ball. Get your big ass down in that paint. What are you doing, 7'4", shooting a 3-pointer? Get your ass, biggest thing on the court. Get your ass down in that paint." What's going on, Art, a bit more? How's the friendly neighborhood Taurus? Have the Democrats essentially given up being an opposition party? It would call them control. I don't care whether they're opposition or not, man. Okay, I don't care if you're opposition. The thing is, stop with the theatrics. Okay, stop with all these theatrics. Get down to work and do something. Okay, your job is to pass laws. Your job is to govern, not to get out in front of the cameras and perform. Okay, I don't need all this performance stuff. I don't need all this slamming and calling people names and all that kind of crap. You pass some legislation. Get out, get down there and make some deals, right? I was listening to Schweikert. He's begging y'all to come down here and help him. Okay, you guys know what the problems are. Y'all ain't solving any goddamn problems. All you guys are doing is the shucking and jiving, trying to keep a job. What's up, Maggie? Kadish, what's going on? Hazard, what's going on? And I said, Fallon, what's going on? Hello, be just in chat. What are your thoughts on the current administration money executive orders for Sunday law and Roman Catholic Church, just 10 Commandments in school? Okay. They can have an executive order, but the thing is, the Supreme Court's already struck that down. It's not going to do any good. The states have final say. Jesse Russell, black inventor of digital cellular. Digital cellular's been around, man, since the 80s. Okay, since the 80s. That's not new. Was it implemented? No, but it's not new. Is Black America a warrior society? We don't seem agriculture, technological, trade-based society. Uh, Black America is not a society. Black America is a culture within a society. Biden pardon Marcus Garvey. Hope Trump's challenging Biden auto pen doesn't void the pardon. Dude is dead. It doesn't really make that big a difference. I don't think it makes that big a difference. It's just in name only. Okay. How does pardoning Marcus Garvey help? If you had to focus on one thing to make money, what would it be? To make money? Psh, guys, there's so many ways to make money. What would it be? Depends on what your skill set is. You can't say how to make money if you're a salesman, real estate, um, online sales, a whole bunch of ways to make money if you're a salesman. Uh, if you're into tech, you want to make money. I mean, cloud engineering, programming, all kind of stuff. Okay, um, and you make a lot of money being a farmer if you grow the right thing. You grow weed and make money. The thing is, what's your skill set? Hell, I can make a ton of money just by teaching people how to do astrology. Depends on what your skill set is. Which country do you think has the most gold? China. Yeah. Yeah, Donkey Kong. I played it in '83. Okay, on ColecoVision. Okay, on a console. But it's a very old game. Basically the video games really weren't prevalent because you didn't have the monitors and the computer hardware until the early '80s. I think the Kong maybe what 81, 82. It wasn't that big a jump. Donkey Kong was for ColecoVision for the console. I'm 23 years old. If I were my age in this godforsaken country, how would you operate depending on what your skill set is? What is your skill set? Find what your skill set is and emphasize that. Okay? Whatever your skill set is, you got to maximize it. If you're 23, if you're 23, okay, you live in a knowledge-based society, okay? Pick up your books, study, find out what you're good at, focus on that, and do a deep dive into what your skill set is. Okay, whatever your skill set is, what most people don't do is really do a deep dive into what their skill set is. Okay, whatever it is. Now it depends on who you are, and basically, and this is something. If you read the book, I think it's called The Long Tail. Okay, there's all in which Amazon adopted their policy. There's always somebody in the world to pay you for what you know or what you do. You just have to find your market. The thing is, you have to do a deep dive into your skill set. There's a chick in Bali that lives in Bali. She teaches how to do nails. Okay, online. Okay, all you have to do is find your market. What are the top three things you do to preserve your health? Okay. Well, the first thing you have to have is good genetics. Okay, you can't do shit without good genetics. Okay. After that, you got to find. You have to watch what you eat. Okay. I found out the hard way, which I'm glad that Robert Kennedy Jr. is actually in office. They put a lot of crap into your food. And if I could do it all over again, I would really watch what goes into my food. Wouldn't be a vegan, but I'd be close to it because because I used to shake off a lot of my buddies are vegans, and I used to shake it off, and I don't want to go completely vegan like they did. But the thing is, you have to have really focus in on what you eat, and then get regular exercise. Okay, if you get regular exercise and watch what you eat, and eat fairly clean, and then focus on what your body's telling you as far as what to eat, what not to eat, you'll be fine. In America's pretty sanitized. It's very hard to die in America. Okay, uh, uh, most people die of stress and bad food. Okay, because they don't take care. Because most of the stuff that kills most of the people in the world we don't have here, like bacteria and disease and all that other kind of crap. That if you go to Africa, man, you got to watch what you eat. You got to watch your water. You got to watch. There's all kinds of mosquitoes and other kind of stuff that can take you out. Okay. In America, most of that stuff is gone. You're basically living in America's almost like a zoo. We're almost like zoo animals. Everything's been sanitized. So the odds of you getting sick or you getting killed or you getting killed, it was pretty slim. Okay. All you gotta do is just do the basics, man. Watch what you eat. Take your supplements as far as vitamins, stuff like that. What I probably would do if I were younger, or what I go back and do is have my blood levels checked for trace elements and see what I'm missing. Okay, that'll tell you a whole bunch. I had to have that done for my daughter. You got to go to see what you're deficient in your diet. 29 cents a gallon. It was okay, but guess what your interest rates were? Guess what your interest rates were? Interest rates were 21%. And guess what your minimum wage? Your minimum wage was $1.30. It's called inflation. It's called inflation. Will Wardrobe, what's going on? How is the guard getting more rebounds than a big man? Because the big man's not down low. We just talked about Trump's tariffs. If you brought a couple of Shaqs back into the league, they would change the league. Okay, remember those gas lines in 1970s? Yeah. Gunner said my girl asked me if I knew about the 80-20 selection rule because of adolescence. She agreed with it. her and a bunch of her friends were watching it. It's gonna spread the space whether good or bad. Yep. They're already finding it out. In fact, there's a Medium post. He talked about his sons. Okay, talked about the 80-20 rule and all that kind of crap, right? And where the Manosphere stuff is actually coming from. Things people just think it's coming from the YouTube in normal Manosphere spaces. It's not. It's the Twitch gaming sites are actually spreading the same stuff. Okay, they're talking about this stuff on Twitch, where the gamers are, and the gamers are 30 and under, basically 20 and under. So you got 8-year-old boys in there playing games, listening to Manosphere content. Is now I don't think it's good. I don't I'm a old gym rat, man, and I look at the games, man, and I don't like it anymore. So Pistol Pete in today's game would have averaged damn near 40 points a game, probably. Draymond does that too, pisses me off. Most of these 7-footers were either point guards or two guards in high school. That is insane. Yeah, that never would have happened back when I was coming up. You if you over if you over back then you over 6'5", 6'6", get your ass down there in the post. I've watched games where 4 minutes went by with no scoring, like 10 plus missed free throws, 3 pointers. Yeah, I don't know, man. Hand checking. Uh, I think a little hand checking is fine. Okay, I don't think a little hand checking is fine as long as it's not too aggressive. You can hand you. They still allow a certain amount of hand checking. Okay, you just can't keep contact. Draymond and a Bad Boys throwback, kind of. So we'd be just not that anything's wrong with the gig work, but I'm seeing sisters jumping out of the BMW trucks, hauling groceries up flights of stairs. They don't look happy either. They're not. Winter's been here. What is the story behind you making bullshit in 2 words from one? Oh, that came from my mentor, Craig Hewlett. Okay, I went to one of his lectures, and he talked about an old Texas millionaire, a multimillionaire, right? Was one of his clients, and he would something he would disagree with. He would say, you know what? That's some bullshit. Okay, that's where I got it from. And it cracked, man. I fell out. My side split, and I fell out the chair. I said, I've been using it ever since 97, 96, 97, 96. Do you think it's the rule change for the defense to become nearly impossible, or is that players aren't being coached to defend as much? I think it's a bit of both. Guatemala, a good location for a couple's vacation. A couple's, it could be, depends on the age of the couple. If you're young, yeah, Guatemala. I don't think Guatemala's for young people for the most part. I wouldn't. Brazil, DR, even the DR. For couples, it depends on how old you are. That's when Jesse Russell invented it. Cell phones, cell phones, mobile phones and cell phones have been around um, since the 80s. Okay, now the technology has been around since the 80s. And how old were millennials during that time? Even during the 90s, well, how old were they? Your thoughts on Kamala Harris coming out of hiding? I, I mean, good luck to her. What's your opinion on the statement self-organizing systems inherit a collective memory from precious previous similar systems influence their form and behavior across lines? Uh, they do. They have to. What else they gonna learn from? You can only self-organize from the material that's around you. Yeah, church and state will reunite at some point in the near future. I doubt it. You're right. It's not going to be good, but as a believer in Christ, I understand that biblical end time prophecy must be fulfilled. Yeah, but the thing is, nobody knows the time nor the date, do they? Time or the day. You have no idea when the end time is going to come. So it could be tomorrow, it could be 10,000 years from now. You have no clue. I despise folks' desire for symbolic gestures as a stand-in for substantive change. I do too. But that's all they have. Earning boils down to providing a service and selling a product. Yeah, it's called trade. Even dirt farmers make money. Yeah, depends on what you it depends on what you're good at. Have you ever read a book, Deep Work by Newport? Nope. What countries do you recommend that black men should live and thrive, escaping the black gynocracy? If you're gonna leave, depends on what your skill set is. Okay. Right now it's Colombia. Right now it's Kenya. Right now it's Thailand. Um, right now it's Brazil. It depends on what your skill set is. If you got a skill set that fits, yeah, depends on what your skill set is. Would Chile be better than Guatemala for a couple's vacation? I think Chile probably would be better. Um, it's less crowded. Guatemala is depends. Now, if you go during Holy Week, okay, during right now, if you go right now, okay, if you would go right now, um, for the Holy Week celebrations, that's the best time to go to Guatemala, right? That's the best time to go. If you want to go anytime during Guatemala, this is the best time to go to Guatemala right now because there's a ton of stuff to do. If you want all the parades and the marches and all the singing and all that stuff is going on right now. So if you really want to go to Guatemala, this is the best time to go. New Jersey Senator filibuster was pointless. He didn't use to oppose Republican legislation, where Thurman used to filibuster stop Democratic legislation. That is true. That's why I said I don't. I think it was performative. That's what I say. Why did they take the behind the wall down the other wall? It's because it's blocked because of Elon. Fox blocked it because of the Elon Musk interview. But the thing is, you go back to Patreon, it's actually up on Patreon. It's not on YouTube. YouTube blocked it is because Fox told them to block it. Veganism is the way. Uh, yeah, it could be. Veganism has its own problems, but depends on who you are. Okay, if you like if you like vegan, if you can deal with the vegan diet and the vegan food, fine. So a lot of vegan food, a lot of tricks you have to make to eat vegan food. Some people are better at it than others. So I said, I'd say a good mix. It doesn't have to be vegan. If you eat clean, um, then you don't necessarily have to have a completely vegan diet. People eat fish. People eat meat. People live a long time all over the world eating the same thing. Like my, mostly it's genetics. Okay, I got folks in my family living into their 90s. Okay, they're not vegans, and they're perfectly healthy. Genetics has a lot to do with it. All you got to do is eat clean and watch what you eat. You don't. I mean, if you know, don't don't constantly eat fast food or processed. You stay away from processed food. 90% of the time, you'll be okay. Master, what is the wild ride worth it? It depends. Okay, if you want to completely be engulfed and feel the experience, take it. Okay. Uh, just be, just. I would say this. Okay. Be sure that the person's personality meshes with yours. If it does, you have a great time. If you don't, it's going to be rocky. Okay. That's what I would say. I love fish and steak too much to go vegan. You don't have to. You don't have to. Just watch what you eat. Why do you have? Why do you have? Why do you have winning between Mike Tyson's and Muhammad Ali? Oh, who do you have? Ali, all day. I can, but I wouldn't. I'm not gonna really do it here. Okay. If you want me to expand it, you gotta go to my Patreon because it would take too long. I think I talked about it already. So, uh, 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 your thoughts on Clinton presidency? Like any other president, some good, some bad. Um, I think his second half is probably worse than his first half. Okay, um, it's disastrous because he actually got rid of the Glass-Steagall Act. He basically he allowed the corporations to actually run wild. So, but he did balance the budget. He did get us out of this long term recession. Did a lot of good things. Okay, but on the other end, some disastrous stuff that we're still living with. Like we'd never be in this economic crisis if we hadn't gotten rid of the Glass-Steagall Act. David Stern, legislative physicality out of the game? Not really. That wasn't David Stern. That was the new guy. Okay, that took physicality out of the game. I wish I had time to play video games. They talk about $90 games, so I'm not really with it. Uh, it depends. It depends on what you like. I mean, it's called inflation. The games used to be what, $60, okay? Now they're 90. When you have double, when you have inflation just basically doubled. Supreme Pivot, what's going on? Call me Skrilla, the black pillars at the top of society trying to use the manosphere to correct behavior of modern women. No, they can't do that, man. The thing is that the top of society is actually using the black pillars to get at the manosphere. The black pillars have no power. Black pillars are a very small group, but they're using the most extreme people that are really not that extreme, okay, to point at what's wrong with the manosphere, because manosphere is actually got into politics. They don't like that. Where manosphere is actually changing society. They don't like that. Not just here, but globally. So they're using black pillars as propaganda. Twitch is definitely the more appealing site when compared to YouTube for younger generation. That's what the stuff is, and they can't stop Twitch. Okay, they can't stop the gamers. Hit the like button. Uh, Jabez Cross. Will Blackman ever admit we need to be in leadership roles? No, they never have. They never will. Experts are saying the NIL deals are bad for college sports because the smaller schools can't compete. Your thoughts? NIL depends on the player, okay? On the player. Because trust and believe, when Coach Prime was at the little black school, okay, they were getting NIL deals, okay? They were. They were getting NIL deals there. The NIL deals follow the player, not the school. It's bullshit. What exactly is the political ideology of Apple, Facebook, PayPal, and Google? These tech companies all do censorship. Is because they're trying to stay out of what? Antitrust court. That's why. I might be tempted to do an AMA of my own following the stream, waiting on Dr. K to get home from Bloomington. Okay. Uh, You think the Lakers will win the chip? No, I don't. In 2025, why are we still going to the polls to vote like it's 1925? What elections are going on in 2025? I mean, everybody goes to the polls all over the world. What country, what modern country does not go to the polls and vote? You tell me. That is a dumb question. Middle school in the mid 90s? What do you think are the three most impactful mental models concepts to come out of the Black Manosphere? Uh, the red pill, basically seeing the world as it is. Okay, that's the red pill. Uh, basically, seeing a woman's true nature. Basically, and basically, the other thing is male independence, away from the social structure of what they think a man should be. I think those are the three biggest models coming out of the Black Manosphere. Do you believe in genetic memory? Yes, I do. I remember the TV show Dallas where they were talking on the cell phone. Yeah, well, yeah. Cell phones, self, cellular phones are not new. Okay. Um, the invention of cellular phones is not new. I forget the chick that came up with the goddamn thing. She was um, she did that in what 88 or 89, something like that. So it's actually a black woman that came up with it. First, you have to agree on an accurate calendar. We already agree on a calendar all over the world. That's part of the tripping up of the Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson wants to shoot threes more than he wants to be in a, yeah. I'm an older millennial. Okay. You're born in 81. Okay. I'm going to Kenya soon. Have I read the book Never Split the Difference? Nope. And there's the birthday boy. What's going on? Where's where you went? I didn't even watch it, man. I might watch the highlights. Have you been to the following drama with Orange County Board Supervisor Andrew Doe stole millions in COVID money? Nope. Don't follow it. It's hard enough to follow. I start with global politics first, and I work my way down. And Orange County, since I don't live there, is too far down for me. A lot of people stole COVID money. He ain't the first. Why haven't the overall left, liberals, progressives said anything about Iran having hypersonics? They could cook U.S. bases immediately apart from Jimmy Dore. They're all silent. Because they've been in the pockets of the defense contractors over the last 4 or 5 years. They were paid off, and they don't want that to get out. I saw Shay Sade use one of your videos. Any collab coming down the pipe? She's used quite a few of mine. I don't think so. She hasn't mentioned one. I've been on with her before. It'd be his response. We've been here before, but you ninjas keep forgetting where you came from. We have been here before. I told you. I told you. Now they're talking about austerity and stagflation, right? Remember I was telling you guys that? I've seen this before about stagflation. No, BGS, it ain't gonna be like that. Now everybody's saying it. Your wages are stagnating, okay, and inflation is rising. It's called stagflation. And then they're gonna start laying off people, just like they did in the 70s. Can I pull your coattails? Read my email if you haven't already done so. I did read it. I haven't gotten back to you. When I get a chance, I'll get back to you. The left has been silent on having Mach 10 plus projectiles. Okay, yeah. They sold out. They sold out under Biden. Okay, they sold out under Biden. That's why this they sold out to the neocons. That's like when they lost the last election. Fast food is meant to be a treat or a stopgap, not a staple. That's true. Why do you think why do you think intersectionality surpassed modern black liberalism and Pan-Africanism as a dominant ideology amongst black is because money. Okay, white women paid a lot of money to put that crap in. Okay, a lot of money. 1972. There's two things. One, they actually settled the grievance between black men and civil rights uh, with civil rights legislation from 1969 to 1971. Okay, they settled that. They gave you asked for certain things, they gave it to you. Okay, redress the grievances. Number two, they handed over the whole society to women. Started with the educational system. Boy, white women paid a lot of money to put that shit in. They pay a lot of money to keep it rolling. And black women took the bait, took the money, and kept their mouths shut. Go back and that's why I showed you Pauli Murray. Pauli Murray and Eleanor Roosevelt had sex put in because they did not want black men to have rights that white women didn't have. And white women took the bulk of what was supposed to be coming out of civil rights. That's how come the black community is in the position that they're in. Okay, your women sold you out. The black men would not have done that. Because John Thompson said it best: we're allowing everyone to catch up to America's game and going to change the landscape. It's about money, man. They thought they were making more money by doing that, putting in European players and playing a European game. Okay. Tyson had a style. Okay, styles make fights, and Ali's more of a counter puncher, and basically, Tyson doesn't do very well against counter punchers. Do you prefer chemistry or physics topics? Uh, it depends. They're actually very interrelated. Cyberpunk 2077 and Helldivers. Yeah. Lakers in 5. Depends who they're playing against. What's up, Mr. Tobert? What's the deal on you versus Mrs. Cartwright? Who is on deal of you versus me? What are you talking about, man? I had no idea what you're talking about. That's Sigma. How can the wall exist for women if they no longer care for marriage or having children? Okay, the ability of them to actually produce children is why you would pick them. If you want to make a family, okay, if you want to make a family, which most men in the world do, they have to have a woman that's fertile, okay. And if women don't want to have kids, what's going to happen to your society? It's going to decline. It's happening already, okay. It's happening already. Okay, demographic. You're gonna have more. If it wasn't for migrants coming in, you'd had more births and deaths already. You'd hit the demographic wall already, like 20 years ago. I was just listening to David Schweiker talk about demographics. Okay, you already hit that wall. I believe black men leaders are needed for this world. Get well. I guess not. Okay, I guess they don't. People don't agree with you. Your nephew's doing well, intelligent. He should be at full Dusty Cloud engine. Was hey, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's smart. Okay, that's why I told him. I told him I would not have signed him up for it if he wasn't smart enough to handle it. Okay, and he's been existing below his capability for about a good 20 years. So, and he said he's tired of being broke. Would you say that NFL, NBA players may be black people because they know about women being in the league? I say a lot of NBA players, since they've been coddled, are not black pill. I think they're very blue pill. Otherwise, they wouldn't be getting caught up like they do. You think NIL deals ruin college sports? Um, no, I think money ruined college sports. Okay, I think I think the biggest thing that ruined college sports was probably the NCAA tournament because there was so much money coming into college because of sports. They started recruiting players because of the money. That's what actually ruined college sports. The one and done, all that kind of stuff to get kids in to play because they needed ticket items. Yeah, that's what ruined college sports. And NIL didn't do it. So again, I'm looking forward to the Emperor Palpatine. Zuckerberg, CIA? No, he's not. Zuckerberg is not a plant. What the thing is, once you get up that level, they put a lot of pressure on you. What do you think would have to happen for baby women to be created? It's called the environment that has to change. Okay, and what? How do you want them to behave? Okay, the things you expect them to behave like they did in the 1950s, they don't behave that way, and I think they should be held accountable. I think the law should reflect that. Okay, if these chicks want to be independent and want to be men, make them men. Make them follow the same rules. But you guys won't. You guys don't make them follow the same rules. You're at what? Fire and Smoke Cigars Lounge. Okay, okay, cool. So we're at an hour. Let's see. Let me see. Check for super chats first. When will the U.S. get its space program to Mars? That is a. It's called logistics. Okay. The space program had probes that have already been to Mars. Trying to get people or equipment to Mars. That's going to be a bigger thing. They could have done it already. The thing is, it takes a lot of money. They spent more money fighting wars than putting people out there. Chef put out a video with you referenced. Okay. I haven't seen it. You got to remember, Muhammad Ali was 6'4". Okay. He was 6'4" and 230 pounds, 225 pounds. Okay. Tyson wasn't that big. Is 5'11" at best. Okay. 5'11" at best, not as fast, and Ali's a bigger person. Are you? Yeah, I am. Most of your common first personality types are your mask. Okay, you're trying to you're trying to you're trying to align with your mask instead of what's inside you. Okay, you're not being true to who you are inside. Your mask is your ascendant sign. Whatever your ascendant sign is, that's your mask. Okay, and if you align too much with it, that's your counterfeit personality. How do you get in touch? Okay, that's Theo. Theo's question for Theo's right there. Have you been following RG3's controversy to take on? No, nope. I wonder who won the chip in men's basketball. I don't know. NCAA. Yeah, most if anybody is CIA plant, if anybody is, it would be Musk. If All the people that you can think of, if anybody is part of CIA, the only person that really was really embedded with the government is Musk. Okay, that's how I call Musk Tony Starks. Uh, what celeb would you consider a dime? There's a bunch of them. Zoe Saldana, when she was young, was a dime. My go-to dime is Nicole Murphy. What's her name? Uh, what's his name's ex? She's a dime. There's a bunch of dimes that are. Sierra's a dime. Okay, yeah, when she was young, Sierra's a dime. Um, there's a bunch of them. It's just which ones do you know, and it's variable depending on what you like. But there's a ton of them. Most of them you don't know. Uh, Zoe Kravitz is probably a dime. It just depends. Pam Grier was closer to. I say Pam Grier may have been an eight, closer to an eight. I don't think she was quite a dime. Okay, because I had my ex fiance way back in the day looked just like her, and she's about eight plus. Yeah, yeah, you had Sanaa Lathan. I say Sanaa Lathan is probably more like a eight or eight plus. I would say Sanaa Lathan. Um, I would, I mean, if I saw her, I could, if I could think of them, I probably would. I don't know. I don't really watch too many of them nowadays. A real question: who would win between Smoking Joe and Mike? I say Smoking Joe probably would win because basically, Mike Tyson is just Joe Frazier Part Two, and Frazier's a little stronger. Frazier's a little bit more. Has better defense, and Frazier can take better shots than I think Tyson could. But it'd be a good contest. Megan Good, possibly. Back in her day, possibly. Pam Grier made me never want to trust and believe. I know. Okay, I know. I, I had a set of my own, and basically, I say she had Playboy quality titties. Okay, I do mean Playboy quality. They almost didn't look real, and she was because her and Pam Grier, even down to the calves. She had even had Pam Grier's calves. Okay, built just like her, looked just like her. Whenever Mike was tested, he failed to be on. Yeah, well, that's true. Anyway, all right, good folks. It is time for me to get out of here. Last questions before I bounce. I think RG3's response to it using Rob Parker's Cornboy comments and clowning for dating outside his race would be made his point something to think about because Rob said on a sports show. I haven't seen it. I have not seen it. Yeah, I like Zoe Kravitz. They're more like Double D. We got to remember they look bigger is because Pam Grier and my ex they're actually small people. They're not big people. Okay, like my ex, she was She was 5'8.5". She weighed 127 pounds. Her waist was 23. Had a 23-inch waist. She was a small person. So, and she's a tall, small person with a nice round booty with hips and big ass titties. Okay, I remember one time we were shopping for clothes, right? And she was trying something on, and she says she came back out, and handed the I think it was the blouse back to the person to the vendor, right? And she said, "My titties are just too big for those clothes." I fell down, cracking up. Even though her titties were not the biggest I had, right? My girlfriend in high school, now she had 44 triple D's, okay? She had 44 triple, but the thing is, she neck down, okay? She was 5'8", tall, big ass titties and stuff like that. But the thing is, neck up, she's a 4. You know, if she had the face to go along with that body, she might have been closer to a 9, but she was a 4. Yeah, 23-inch waist. Yep. 36 hips, 23-inch waist, and 40 double D breasts. But they look bigger is because they're tiny. Okay, Pam Grier is a tiny person. Believe it or not, she's skinny. There's a lot of chicks that could have been dimes. Okay, Prince had a lot of them. It's a topic solely about related. I'm interested in an unfortunate event in Texas where I haven't heard of it. I haven't heard. I don't even know the 2 teens that you're talking about. And there's a lot of unfortunate events going on right now. People with kids freezing in cars, kids being left out, people getting shot, deported. So you have to be specific, okay? No, she was not a dime. Diana Ross was not a dime, okay? Diana Ross is a 6, upgradable 6, okay? That's what Diana Ross was, upgradable 6. She was not a dime. Well, my baby mama, the woman I had kids by, she's 5'4", so no, I didn't. If I had kids by the chick I wanted to have by, she was like almost 5'11". Okay, my boys would probably been about 6'6", but that's not who I had kids by. But I have a daughter that's 5'9". She was. What's her name? Yeah, she was bad when she was young. Anyhow, y'all, let me get out of here. Yeah, Jane Kennedy probably was closer to a dime. Yes, I would say that. So was Felicia Rashad when she was younger. Yeah, Barbara Eden. Yeah. Amazonians, not necessarily. Selma still does look. I know what I have a workmate looks like Selma Hayek with bigger titties. Okay, humongous titties. Okay, looks just like her. Anyhow, but she had by the time I met her, she had 2 kids by 2 different guys. I said, oh, don't want to do that. Linda Carter was a 9, I would say. Vanessa Williams was a dime. Anyhow, we get out of here. Let me go. I will see you guys later.
What can I say? Mamba out.
Музыка Мanosphere.